What's up everyone, welcome to the Berquist Armament channel. In this video I will be performing a number of gauging tests on the Budget Block 2. These tests will include gauging the AO Precision BCG, testing the headspace on the Rosco 14.5 inch barrel, and testing the threads for concentricity. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go ahead and do a gas ring test. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the bolt carrier group on the bolt. And if it collapses under its own weight, like so, that means it is time to replace your gas rings. So let's go ahead and set it here. And we're good to go. It did not collapse. And then one thing I'd like to mention is we are 3,000 rounds in, and I did replace these gas rings once around the 2,000 round mark. I do shoot this upper suppress quite a bit, so that is probably why they wore out so quickly. But also it could be the fact that the gas ring run is a little rough in the inside. After 3,000 rounds, it's a good idea to take a look at your bolt lugs and make sure that there's no cracking or no issues with the lugs themselves. And I've examined these and these all look great. Another high stress area is where the cam pin goes in, and it's good to check these ridges just to make sure there's no cracking or fracturing, and obviously these look just fine. And then also it is good to check your cam pin and just make sure that it is not worn out, nothing is cracked, and this is normal wear there, and everything is looking just fine. Okay, let's take a look at the extractor claw retainer pin. And obviously there's movement there, so that it looks good. And then moving on, we have a Sprinco 5 coil spring. And this gives it a bit of extra strength and more durability, which is awesome. Okay, let's take a look at the extractor claw. Let's start with the go. And indeed, it is grabbing. And then let's go to no-go, and it will obviously not take. Next, let's take a look at the ejector spring here. Just give it a test. And indeed, it does have good pressure still. And then I do recommend a Sprinco Enhance ejector spring. Next, let's go ahead and test the bolt tail. Okay, here we go. Nope. And obviously no. I always like to take a look at the firing pin tip. It's a little bit dirty there, but you can see that it does look good, so it is good to go. Okay, let's test firing pin protrusion. As you can see, I've already zeroed this. 28.5, 28.5, 28.5. So obviously this is good to go. Next, let's take a look at the cam pin fitment. So there is a little bit of slight play, but not bad, and then obviously it won't go in on that side. Not too bad, but not great. Next, let's take a look at the internal diameter of the carrier key. So let's start with the go. It's good. No go. Let's test out the gas key and just make sure that the pathway is open. Let's see if you can see that. And indeed it is. Let's go ahead and test for gas key alignment. And we're good to go. Next, let's move to our gas key torque test. So as you can see, we have 30 foot-pounds. pass, and that's pass. Okay, next let's take a look at the carrier length. And we want to be at 667, so we're good. Okay, next let's take a look at the 3-bore. Now let's look at the carrier bolt shoulder support. So we have our first go gauge. Good. Good. And it won't go. So we are doing pretty good for the carrier bolt shoulder support. Next, let's move on to the carrier gas ring run. Let's start with the first one. That'll take. But it will not take yellow. So that is good as well. And then lastly, let's take a look at the carrier boat tail. So our first green gauge, go. Second green gauge. Ooh, that's tight. It may not take the yellow gauge, and it will not. So very good for the carrier boat tail as well. And then I know it's going to be very difficult to see, but I'm trying to do the best I can to show you, but I'm taking a look at the feeding lips and see if there's any snagging on there, anything that's going to obstruct good feeding into the chamber, and it feels very smooth, so that's awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the 14646, which is 556 go. Okay, so obviously it took. And then let's move on to 14686. Okay, and that will not take. Do one more time. So that's excellent for 3,000 rounds, and that's what you're looking for. Here is the test for barrel thread concentricity. The suppressor I'm using for alignment is the Dead Air Sierra 5, and as we can see, everything is perfectly aligned. Thank you for checking out this video. If you have any gauging tests you would like to see performed, let me know in the comments. And if you are looking for more in-depth gauging videos, go check out School of the American Rifle. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.